Yes, everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Stephen Howson, and this is 5 things that we learned yesterday. Arteta 2, Solskjaer 0. As much as it's annoying to say, Arteta deserves to beat United in his first game in charge, and he won the tactical battle again yesterday. United were really poor on the ball and totally could not deal with Arsenal's very heavy press. The Gunners forced us into mistakes. They forced us back. They tried to make us go long with the goalkeeper, and although it did take an Aubameyang penalty, which I'm not going to get into on here, but they had the majority of the chances. Solskjaer's got a lot right this season, not so much in the Premier League, but in terms of tactics and team selection, he has got a hell of a lot right. But he continues to hesitate to change things up in game when they aren't really going well, and I find that heavily frustrating. Before yesterday, United were unbeaten in 13 home league games against Arsenal, winning 8 of them. And we hadn't lost to them in a league game since September 2006. But records are there to be broken, but a defeat really could have been avoided yesterday. Number 2, Paul Pogba was poor. Yesterday, Solskjaer shown renewed faith in Paul Pogba, selecting him to start a match after a very positive performance from him against Leipzig in midweek. However, he did not repay the faith shown in him. United looked generally sloppy in possession, so you would expect someone like Paul Pogba and his technical ability to lift that sort of performance, to be the outlet, to be the beacon of light, the example for the rest of the players. And he showcased decent passing ability, recording an 88% pass completion, but the rest of his game just simply wasn't up to scratch. He created just one chance, although it was a pass outside the box. He also only completed 1 out of 3 take-ons, which is very unlike Paul Pogba. He made just 1 tackle and 1 interception. He also committed 3 fouls, which is more than any other player on the pitch. This isn't a Paul Pogba performance. Where's the flair? Where's the breathtaking physical ability? Where's the consistency on the ball? Where's the driving forward? And you would expect with a midfield 4, which is what United played against Arsenal, that you're going to see more of Paul Pogba, because he had 2 players, and also Bruno Fernandes, who's not shy when it comes to doing the dirty work, but he had 2 players designated as dirty work players, as well as Bruno Fernandes. You really can have a luxury player in there, but even despite all of that going on, Paul Pogba put in a poor performance. Paul Pogba is a wonderful player on his day, and you would back him to get into most 11s in world football. But 4 years on into his Manchester United career, reaching his peak age as a player, and we are still struggling for the consistency that matched the world record transfer fee that we paid for him. Number 3, Lindelof was solid again. As a team, and very similar to the Chelsea game, United were relatively solid, if a bit flat. Victor Lindelof was a standout player in defence again, though, and he didn't put a foot wrong against Arsenal. Lindelof completed 85 passes, 92% accuracy, the closest person to him being Harry Maguire, who only had 55 passes, as well completing 1 take-on, which was the joint most on the pitch, barring an unbelievable performance from Thomas Partey, who managed 3 out of 5. Lindelof also made 8 ball recoveries, which was more than any other player, over a United player, 2 interceptions, and which was the joint most alongside Scott McTominay. On top of that, he won 100% of his defensive duels and didn't commit a single foul in a game in which United committed 12. With Axel Tuanzebe breathing down his neck, Lindelof has stepped up in recent weeks, and I thought it was particularly good against Chelsea. And maybe this was the silver lining on a shocking performance on Sunday afternoon. Number 4, Rashford's Arsenal frustration. I think a lot of us were really anticipating Marcus Rashford running at the space that a back 3 can sometimes offer, and particularly this Arsenal back 3, if you can get at it on the counter-attack, they're quite a high line, and they certainly can be got at. On the performance that we saw from Marcus Rashford midweek, arrested Marcus Rashford, 90 minutes, let's see what he can do against this Arsenal team. This could have been an opportunity to see another match-winning performance from Marcus Rashford. And he had a good chunk of the ball, but he struggled to inspire anything with it. Difficult feat when the players around him just completely lost the midfield battle. No one really took advantage of that. United didn't really hold any possession whatsoever in the final third, none. And Marcus only had 1 shot, and that was from outside the box, and that was blocked. He maintained an 85% pass accuracy, although 66% of his passes did go backwards. He did create one chance, which was that wonderful knuckleball through, unbelievable vision to find Mason Greenwood inside the box, and ultimately Mason got it on target. You can't really get mad at either player for that. It was a good bit of work, and you'd hope more of those would have resulted in a goal. But he went on to make just 6 final third passes and failed to complete a single take-on, which is a very un-Marcus Rashford-style performance. In a credit to him, in a credit to Arsenal, though, they did nullify United's attacking threat expertly. They went very rough early doors on Marcus Rashford. I felt like they might have targeted him a little bit for some extra rough treatment. But Rashford was left overwhelmed on more than one occasion. Marcus now hasn't scored against Arsenal since bagging a brace on his debut all the way back in 2016. And number 5, United need wins. The domestic misery continues at home for United. It's baffling to say after such a wonderful performance against RB Leipzig in midweek, 5-0 smashing of them at Old Trafford on Wednesday, 7 points from the opening 6 games in the league season. We've almost got that in 2 games in the Champions League against Paris Saint-Germain and RB Leipzig. It's baffling. Dismal home form continues after that performance yesterday against Arsenal. Including the final 2 home games of last season, United are now winless in 6 league games at Old Trafford, and it's the longest run since February 1990 since that went down. You may or may not remember, Sir Alex Ferguson was under a hell of a lot of pressure because of that at the time as well, and it was only our FA Cup form that managed to save him his job at that time. Although we have lost just 3 of our last 20 Premier League games, all 3 defeats have come in the last 6 games. It's a worrying little bit of a trend there, but it's more frustrating in a season where there is a real chance of making something happen because of the inconsistency of the rest of the teams around us and the unique circumstances that we find ourselves in. Our electric form in Europe is all well and good, and maybe this Champions League run will be the replica of Fergie's FA Cup run all the way back in 1990. But United are not going to be among Europe's elite with this sort of form. It's not going to happen. Improvements on home turf need to be made, and quickly. United need to start picking up 3 points immediately, or this season could really get away from United the way it's going. Cheers for tuning in, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the 5 things as usual. I'm also doing a 5 things that we learned about the entire Premier League over on Rio Ferdinand's channel 5. I'll throw a link to that in the description. And if you'd like to support the channel, get some extra content, there's all sorts going on there at the moment, and help keep us going as we are entering another lockdown, then a link in the description for the Patreon group, and there's all sorts of benefits. Check it out, read up on there, and see if it's for you. Laters.